Okay, well, ona gari wahi ka joko so mo si os nyari. Gazi dan rio yo jats ka we no ji am dajets ko in sta ro na ta roni. Det tino wada do garunga gari I guess yet sota as tanka garako dana yet in sta ji hunzage dana gwego skatne ganungwe. Det tino wada do agwe jini ganya ter gero dana agwego quadzide kon.
Hurry, I have to share.
No kosuha. What was I now? Det nummer do yati sota gunhan there not the heads to me gonna go rio that the hawa kwe. Dam dawe aron heads and asa ni got dardige ne kanyaga haga. Radinyato ronata runi dano riskare wage. Dam dawe aron heads and ori wio kari shusera dano gazet stasera. Okay, so as always, everybody knows that whenever we get together for council meeting, anything of importance, any gathering, that we always have to carry out Honda Gadi with Ekwa first. This is, as you know, where we give thanks to the things in creation that have created us and the things that we need to continue to sustain us. I just made a connection to something that just happened, an hour earlier. Hour and a half ago, we were doing a discussion on religion with the Women's Nation with Marlo in particular. And the Honda Gadi Wadekwa is the connection that I make is that we know that everything that transpires on the cellular level is what takes place, transpires on the collective level in your body, and then it takes place on the larger collective level into the larger realm until we're on the planetary level, until we're in our solar system level, and then our galactic level, and then onto Sky Woman herself, onto the great spiral of creation on the waterversal level, not the universe, the waterverse, because the waterverse is where we are all created. Everybody, every baby was made within the amniotic fluid of our mothers. And so the waters is where and how the dreams take form, how they manifest. And so just to the connection that I made, maybe I'm not explaining it fully to you because I was involved in the conversation. It's more like a feeling that I got about the link from mother to mother to mother, all the way to Sky Woman herself. We have a beautiful young girl in here that just walked in with a good friend of ours, 11 years old. And for her to think, for her to know, it's not taught out there in schools for young girls to know this, but for young girls to be taught that they are the sacred bloodline, that they are the power in this world. They are the authority. They are never to take any kind of anything, no kind of crap from the men, from the guys. The young girls, you are the authority. You carry the sacred power within you of the life-giving force. And when the young girls reach the age of the first time that they're visited by their grandmother, by the moon, their grandmother moon, that this becomes a sacred time of transition for them. And it's the time of empowerment. Whereas in the non-native world, it actually becomes a time of burden. It's now embedded in the woman's minds that your moon is a burden on you now, and that you should take this pill to get rid of your moon. So imagine if you got rid of the thing that a woman makes you a life giver, what would you be after this? So very important to keep that line, that knowledge alive in the people, in the oral tradition, so that it's constantly heard by the young girls, by the women, that to the oldest women, that they know, that they keep hearing you, us guys, saying this. If we are constantly saying these things and the women are hearing these things, then they know that at the very least, the communication is in balance. That that if we're not saying these things, then imagine women. What would we be? What would the men be saying? What would you have us talking about? We're talking about nonsense in the world. When we're speaking of the way of Guyana Goa, the great law of peace, and especially when we're talking in Kanienkeha, we're talking about balance. We're talking about the power of the women, the empowerment from the newest born baby girl to the eldest grandmother, all the way to Sky Woman herself. So we give thanks for all of this. We ask our ancestors to guide us, to show us, to reveal to us anything on our path that we cannot see. Imagine if we're walking like at night, maybe you wake up and you stub your toe. You know, it's understandable there. You just wake up, maybe you're groggy, you can't see. But in your everyday life on this path that we're walking on, how many things do people overlook that we don't even see? We can't detect it. These are the things that we ask our ancestors to help us with, to reconnect back with the natural things in creation that link us to identity, that make us solid, that gives us our place in this world where we will not ever be of doubt or of uncertainty, where we will be as in the longhouse, where our heads are firm. We know who we are. We can trace our lineage all the way back to Sky Woman herself. And so this is the way for every life giver, for this beautiful young girl that is here with us now, who I don't know if she's the one who just experienced her first moon. Yeah. Celebration time. Maybe, I don't know, maybe with some of her friends or maybe some of the family even. Maybe it's not so much of that celebration, but this is what it's supposed to be. She is at an epoch in her evolution, on her journey. This is where, you know, like every transition that you get to, it's where things become exciting, where you get empowerment, where the thing lying just around the corner is you're waiting for it because you know it's excitement, it's evolution. So anyways, in this way, this is the way of evolution for the people because it nurtures the natural cycles of the women, which the women's cycles are derivative of the cycles that are emitted from our Mother Earth. All the signals, the life force, the energy, the power flows through the women, flows through this beautiful young girl here now also as she takes her place in the world as a life giver. So we give thanks that for just these things, being able to relate these things. Seeing her beautiful face is what made me think of these things. And so we're thankful that she walked through this door, that she reminds us of our place, of the way that we're supposed to be. Okay, so all of that being said,
we already have the first word that way I get sent.
Okay.
And last week we had something going on.
Oh yeah. Okay, so we'll go with the first word that Warrior Gerdo's got. But last week there was a few people that were supposed to have words. So if you remember who you were,
I noted them.
Oh, okay. So there'll be no cheating then.
No, not when I'm there.
Okay.
Okay, the first word is wa'agwa he tisa. Wa'agwa he tisa.
Agua het tisa.
So what's the order now?
Agua het. Can you say that again? Wait, hang on. It's a little bit too low. I gotta get the remote for the TV.
Okay, just
My ears are blocked. I'm having a hard time to hear anything.
Wa'agwa he tisa.
Let's figure out where to put that thing right away. Huh? Wa agua
He tisa.
het tisa. Het.
Oh, is the het like that?
Agua after wa and het. Agua het tisa.
You
Or
want
the
to,
T goes like with the het.
Carl, do you want to participate?
To the.
Yeah, you repeat the word.
Okay, yeah.
After Stuart, and then I don't remember the name of your
Laisa.
Laïsta.
Yeah.
And then Marie-Claude, Edith, Lisa, Harold, Janet, Merrick, France, and then me, as usual.
Oh, okay, so while you're Gerda, let's start over. Can you
Okay. 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Wa agua he disa.
agua het dizza? Agua het. Wait a minute. Agua het dizza?
Yeah.
The het. You got the comma there after the T. It's got to go before the T.
Well, that's where I had it, but then you had said the other way around.
Wa agua he disa.
Agua het dizza.
So it would be then.
Okay.
Raja.
Wa agua het disa.
Lisa, if you want to say it.
I'm
No.
shy.
Wa agua het disa. Wa agua het disa.
Lisa,
Wa agua het disa.
Agua het disa.
Janet,
Wa agua het disa.
Teaser.
Wa agua het disa.
wa agua het disa. Circle.
Okay, we'll do the words first that, like we said, what we're supposed to come from last week. So let's put it before this word. And then later on, when we're done with those, we're going to come back and continue the conversation here from that one.
I don't remember what we were talking about, but the person that didn't weren't able to say a word there, Stephen is not there. Harold, Lisa, Marie-Claude, France, and me. And then after we say we are gonna correct the proper way to say it, the feathers, find the proper translation. That's what I wrote too. We were talking about the feathers up and
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so whatever we were talking about last week, if you were one of the people who were supposed to have a word, I'm sure you probably remember. So you probably worked on the word all week.
Yeah, I remember the context. It was things you would ask to get to know somebody. If I'm not mistaken. Things you would ask when you're trying to get to know somebody. I believe that was the context that we were in. It was the thing that I had in mind was, what is your dance and song? You know, when I want to get to know somebody, right? How funky is your music and your songs?
Yeah.
What makes you dance? Dance, dance, dance.
How do you write dance?
Speaking of dance.
Thank you. All kinds of tracks like that.
Woman's dance. We nay ho, we ho, we nay ho, we ho, ho we nay ho, ha we ha nay, hi na we hi, ho we nay ho, we ho, we nay ho, we ho, ho we nay ho, ha we ha nay, hi na we hi. Half a verse. Woman's dance. Women's dance makes everybody dance. Within the longhouse, when you're a little kid, woman's dance is really the most the song, the dance that makes you want to move the most. When we're little kids, all boys danced with their mothers to the woman's dance.
Okay, that first word, what's your dance? Ohnisenu nyod. Ohnisenu nyod.
Senu, oni.
Oh, ohnise nu nyod.
Senu.
Okay. Ohnisenu, 3, 2, 1, oh. Ohni senunyoda.
Ohni senunyoda.
Carl?
Onisenyo. Onisenonyote.
Onisenonyote. Onisenonyoda.
Lisa.
Oh, I can't see anybody. I'm sorry. That's why. Oni senyo ni yo done.
Ohni senunyoda.
Oni senyo ni yo done.
Yanare.
Only sing Yoda.
Am I next?
Yes.
Oniseno Nyoden.
Oni senanyote.
Oni senyo nyodan.
Onisenonyoda. Circle.
Second word, what's your song? Ohniza ronoda. Ohniza ronoda.
Ohni. Ohni zardan. Ohni zardan.
3, 2, 1. Ohniza ronoda.
Ohni zardan.
Onisaro noda.
Onisaranoda. Onisaranoda.
Oni serenoda.
Yanare.
Only Sadan Nodan.
Onisara Noden.
Oni saranoda.
Oni saran nodan.
Onisaranoda. Circle.
Okay, I got a response to that. We'll have a response to that. What is your dance? A stoa goa. What is your song? The rabbit dance.
How we word it?
A stoa. A stoa.
Oh, S.
It's Ostoa Goa.
Would it be just saying a stoa goa, or is there something else there where you would say my dance is the stoa goa?
Well, you don't have to because that's the only dance, Ostoa Goa. There's no other dance that has that in it.
Okay.
Ostoa Goa, the great feather dance.
And then what is your song? The song is the rabbit dance. You see, with this here, there's something to understand is that in law, all guys have songs to sing. We have songs that we're supposed to be singing. We're supposed to be singing to our children, to the people. The people are supposed to hear us singing. It's not something we're supposed to do in our showers in private, you know. It's supposed to be something that everyone can hear, because hearing people sing songs, especially pretty much all songs are songs of peace, you know. So to hear the songs of peace being sung, it resonates through the people. It allows the people to know that there is peace happening. So everybody has a song that they sing, a favorite song. For me, it's the rabbit dance. Everybody has a favorite dance that they sing to, that they dance to. And so for me, it was the Astoa Goa. I don't have anybody left who sings the Astoa Goa, so I can no longer dance to that. I haven't danced to the Astoa Goa in probably at least 15 years, maybe close to 20 years since I danced to the Astoa Goa.
Ke Agerana de Wahunta Neha. My song is the rabbit dance.
Say that Yeah, Gerana.
Agirana, there's a na missing.
Agirana, okay.
Na or N-E-N?
Nah. I left it out. That's why my mistake. Agirana de wahunta neha.
De wahunta.
Right here.
Yeah. De wahunta.
3, 2, 1. Agirana de wahunta neha.
Agirana de wahunta neha.
Agirana te wahunta neha.
Agirana de wahunda neha.
Agirana de wahunda neha.
Agarana de wa Honda Neha.
Okay.
Agirana de wahunta neha.
Agirana de wahunda neha.
Gerana te wahunta neha.
Agirana de wahunta neha.
Agirana de wahunda neha. Circle.
Just to let you know, just so you learn a little bit more than just language here. The rabbit dance is performed with a drum, not this type of drum, a water drum. I got one up there, but I won't show it to you right now. But anyways, the rabbit dance is sung with a drum. Pretty much all the songs are sung with the drum or a rattle. Sung only with a turtle rattle. So it's the heartbeat with the turtle rattle. It's a different rhythm, it's just completely different when you're singing with the drum or you're using this rattle. It's a different bodily interaction. You have to do different actions, exercise different muscles with your body when you're using the turtle rattle. That actually affects the way that you sing, how much oomph, I don't know how else to explain it, how much you can put behind your song. So it's a different experience, a different everything. Singing the Astoa with the turtle rattle and singing the rabbit dance or any other song with the drum. So just so that you know that. You learn a little bit more than just language. Okay, so who's next?
Either France, me, or Marie-Claude.
I have a word.
Go ahead.
Okay. Eclipse.
Eclipse, okay.
No, use that too.
Mhm.
There's the cups.
Okay.
Do you remember if Mary was there? He wasn't there. If, for example, Mary wasn't there last week, you could say a word to it. Could that say a word? Mary, were you there last week?
Yeah, I was there. I got to ask.
Oh,
Eat it, I sent it.
Okay, nyawa.
The thing about the eclipse for everybody to know before we say it. So think about this when you're repeating it in Kanienkeha. As everybody knows, we just had 2 eclipses. A couple of days ago, it was a solar eclipse. It wasn't a full, complete eclipse. It was what they call a ring of fire type of thing, but it's still an eclipse. It could still burn your eyes out. Last moon, it was lunar eclipse. So we had a lunar on the full moon, or was it on the new moon too?
On the full. It was on the full. Because actually people could see it.
Anyways, anybody can find this out. So we had a lunar eclipse last moon, and now we have a solar eclipse. This is where it's the equivalent of like in a woman's body, because we're talking about a woman's body here. Our Mother Earth is a woman's body. Our grandmother moon is a woman's body. The moons are the moons, like we just said, of what visited this beautiful young girl here, her first moon. So we're talking about woman's functions. When you have these two functions like this so close to each other, right in a row, this signifies a transition. Of course, everything's a transition, but this is on the level of like where, say like this beautiful young girl just went through transition. Everybody knows everything changes. It's not something that is has to be told to the person. It's just that all of a sudden you don't want to play with dinkies no more. You know, now you want to do something else. So there is a very important change that happens at that age. There's a very important age very important thing that happens when your moon first starts and when it stops. Now, when your moon stops,
Excuse me, Edith, I made a mistake there.
Okay.
The Waderakwa Tro, TRO is good.
Okay.
H is good. Put O in there. OSTE.
And the rest I take out?
Yeah.
So
Waderakwa Trohoste.
when you're repeating this word, think of the transition on the level of like equivalent to a woman who's going into or experiencing what they call now menopause. So you know it's a different time of life, a different outlook, a different perspective. Things are different in life for that person after that point. So keep that in mind when we're repeating this.
I put those rights. I don't know how you feel. Tenwa, tera, what rohoste.
Can you say it again while you're there?
The Waderakwa Trohoste. I would put it at the RO, the O.
Okay.
To make it easier for you. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Don't Waderakwa Trohoste.
Don't want there quattro hoste.
Denwa dera cuatro hoste.
Dawa dera cuatro hoste.
Then what dera what rohoste.
Denwa Draha Guatro Hoste.
Yanade.
Enwa Tera Quattro Hoste.
Then what lo hoste.
Yanade.
Enwa Terakwa Trohoste.
Dana dera cuatro oste.
Yanade.
Tanwa dera quattro hoste. Circle.
That was good. I thought you'd have a hard time. That's good.
And can you know, like in your
What?
is there a root to that word that like what it means in Kanienkeha?
What?
You know,
Wayagirdo, can you break that word down?
Well, Donwa is it will. Terakwa is the sun. Quattro is the quattro. That one means it'll block the sun. There's like 3 roots in there.
Okay, so then this is a solar eclipse. What about for a lunar eclipse?
Okay, what's a lunar eclipse?
It's where the, hang on a minute, let's really wrap our minds around this. Seconds. Okay. Lunar eclipse. The sun
You want me to help?
The sun will be over there. The sun's there, shining on the earth. The moon is over here. So the earth gets in the way of the sunlight that's projected onto the moon, and it eclipses the moon. So a lunar eclipse is where the moon becomes black.
Okay, that's the two suns eclipsing each other, right?
No.
The two spheres?
Yes.
Yeah, the two spheres. Okay, I got a word for it.
But one blocks out the sun and the other blocks out the moon.
Okay. Non c'è dell'acqua troste. It's almost the same, but it's different.
And how would that break?
Don't già
L'acqua.
ra qua. Yeah, don't già dell'acqua. And you know the other one already, troste. Non c'è dell'acqua troste. 3, 2, 1. Non c'è dell'acqua troste.
Non già dell'acqua troste.
Good.
Era cuatro hoste.
Danjadera cuatro oste.
Danjadera wadrohoste.
Tienda draha cuatro hoste.
Non c'è dell'acqua troste.
Tienda draha cuatro hoste.
Okay, just follow me the way I go. Right after I say, then not the whole thing, just what I say to where the comma is. Don't ja,
Ja
dera,
dra
quattro,
cuatro
hoste.
hoste.
Okay.
Danja dell'acqua trohoste.
Excellent.
And jatera cuatro hoste.
Danjatra quattro hoste.
Danjatera quattro oste.
Danjatera quattro oste. Circle and Janet raised her hand.
Okay, wait, there, after the lunar eclipse, put in brackets.
Sorry, what?
Earth blocks out the sun from reaching the moon. The sunlight blocks out the sunlight from reaching the moon. Okay, Janet had a question?
Yes. She raised her hand.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Yahweh. Could you break down the meaning to the word eclipse again? I only got the first part where it's Denwa means it will.
Oh, it will. Dell'acqua, the sun.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Yahweh.
Yeah.
Teraqua.
Okay, let's go back to where we were.
You know, hang on, that quattro, there's gotta be that thing in between them. No, the thing that we put there, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Cuatro.
Somebody getting what he's saying?
Cuatro. Between the T and the R.
Another of this?
Yeah.
It's teraqua though.
Oh, wait. Between the A and the T, I mean.
We don't really need it here.
There are
That's a lot.
cuatro.
Yeah.
Teraqua would be one word.
Yeah, because it's the sun.
Trohosti would be one word.
So it will be better like this.
Yeah.
Aiming for this one. Now that we know the root, it makes sense like that.
Yeah.
So either Lisa, François, or me ask a word. I have one. It's
What's your word?
shooting star.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
exactly what I was thinking. The Palladium. Awesome.
That's me that asked.
I got a word. Say supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I know this.
See if somebody says, that's exactly what I was thinking.
I watched that movie so often when I was young.
It's a movie?
Mary Poppins.
Oh, I didn't know that it came from that. I
Yeah.
thought it was just like how do you call them? Like when you cannot say
Twist
something.
the tongue twister.
Uh-huh.
No, but yeah, but in
Wow, I didn't
and
know
my
it came
my
from-
song.
my godfather, yeah, but in Mary Poppins movie, my godfather was he was calling me Mary Poppins because I was placing my feet like her. I admire so much that I was.
That's so
Did
cute.
you walk around with an umbrella?
Probably you should ask my parents.
Aqua etia. Etia.
Dewajisto, warungas.
Warundas. Dewati.
What is the one?
And the way it's written, it's be the star shooting.
Well, when I write it like that,
Yeah, the star shooting. Put the star in front. Rundats is the shooting.
okay. And what part is the star?
Dewajistokwa.
Whole thing. All right.
The whole thing.
Dewajistokwarundats. 3, 2, 1. Dewajistokwarundats.
Okay, hang on. That word's got to be put together, right then?
Yeah, what's it stuck with?
They were this stokwa.
Yeah.
They were.
Dewa.
Then there should only be one T, right?
No, Dewajistokwarundats. No.
They what? This.
Okay, you could take the first T out. Dewajistokwarundats.
They were this stokwarunda.
Dewatisto Quaruntas.
Dewatisto Quarunda.
De Huatzitzoquarundas.
Dewadistukwarundas.
Jistokwarundats.
Distokwarundas.
Very good.
Dewatitstoquarundas.
Dewajistokwa rundats.
Dewatistoquaruntas.
Dewatitsos quarundas.
Dewatisto Quarundas. Circle.
Okay.
Next would be Lisa or France.
What would be the Big Dipper, you know, the celestial bear?
The Big Dipper.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard the word. I mean, I heard the word Big Dipper, but
Mm.
okay.
Okay.
What does the Big Dipper hold? And that'll give me a hint.
Well, is it a dancer, one of the 7 dancers? Is that
Yeah,
like
The
Okay.
star, the
For
star,
us.
right?
For us, this is where we don't want to get mixed up in English or in a non-native culture. In English, non-native culture, they refer to it as the Big Dipper. We obviously never heard that. We do not have that reference to those groupings of stars. To that grouping of stars, our reference is the 7 dancers.
Mhm.
So in English today, they say Big Dipper,
What's Big Dipper?
but that's the 7 dancers, the Big Dipper.
Je pense parce qu'il a dit Big Bear.
Ouais,
Cette sélection
ok,
belge, il dit la grande ours.
Saint-Main, ours, Dipper, Saint.
Is that grouping of stars, is that one of the 7 dancers or is that all 7 dancers?
Gotta be all of them.
That's all of them.
Mhm.
I never noticed that there were 7 of them. Well, they took the concept and they changed the name. Because of,
And when you look at that, when you're seeing just those stars, okay, and you're connecting the dots, then you're going to see, yeah, a Big Dipper. But when you're looking at the stars as a motion, then what you're seeing is you're seeing the spiral, how the double helix works.
Okay, Gachisto Guaraqua. And that means it's a container that holds the stars. Gachisto Guaraqua.
Flame. Like a flame?
Universe. The universe is the container.
Oh,
Contains the stars.
Gachistoko.
Gachisto Guaraqua. That's
Gachistoko.
where we get that word I was telling you about, Iroquois. Iroquois, Iroquois,
Yeah.
Hmm.
the container.
Yep.
So, Gachisto Guaraqua.
Wow.
Catisto, what doesn't it come from flower too? It doesn't have nothing to do with that.
No, Ochisto, it's the stars.
Okay.
Ochisto, Gachisto Guaraqua. Ojicha is flowers. Gachisto Guaraqua. Add KWA, put another apostrophe there. Gachisto Guaraqua. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Gachisto Guaraqua.
Gazisto Guaraqua.
Cadisto Guaraqua.
Cajisto, Guaraqua.
Gachisto Guaraqua.
Gachisto Garaqua.
Zisto Garaku.
Gachistoko Guaraqua.
Excellent.
Gatsisto Garaqua.
I love that word.
Gatsisto Guaraqua.
Catisto, Guaraqua. Circle. I would break the Catisto and then Guaraqua. We all said this like that in 2 words and not 3.
And Caraqua is the sun.
Sorry.
You know, I'm just thinking, Lee, if somebody, I never heard this name, that would be a nice name for a life giver, a new life giver.
Oh.
Gachisto Guaraqua, yeah.
Pretty.
Because yesterday I went to a graduation, and you know, I didn't like a lot of the names that were given. But it's none of my business. I'm just listening. I said I would never name my son or daughter that, but that's me. Because they don't really know, they're just shooting at stars. Pardon the pun. Yeah.
Put a comma after Gora. Gora. And then Gua. Gora. Gua. Okay, so after that, let's put seven dancers.
Okay.
See, that container that holds the stars, that could be even a reference to Sky Woman.
That's what it said.
She's the only one that can contain.
So that is that could be a direct reference to the womb of our mother. That's where all the stars are contained.
Like magic word.
When you think of the womb, like the womb, a female, a live being, life-giver being, you would say Gawirarakwa. It's a baby container.
That's what holds the stars. Baby is made of stars.
Why we're tied in with, that's why when we do the Ohanta Gari Wadekwa, we thank everything. And then once we do stuff like this, we realize how our people seen something in the sky that they could relate to their body.
And you know, now that you say that, just to add on this a bit, is that we have obviously two different cosmovisions, if you want to say. There's one here in this hemisphere where everybody is complacent, we're happy, we're satisfied, we're on our Mother Earth, satisfied and happy in knowing that we come from out there, but we have manifested here. Whereas in the other hemisphere, they're all not happy with being here. They all want to be out there. They all want to go back out there where they came from. So there's something, we know there's something there in the two different cosmovisions. It comes down to the understanding of what that is out there, what we came from. When you know that if you're looking at a baby picture of yourself, say you're 6 months old, you know that you can't go back to that. What would happen if you, as an adult, the age that you're at now, the body shape that you're in now, what would happen if you went back to 6 months old? That would be a reversal. That would be devolution for you. So in the non-natives' pursuit of trying to leave this planet and trying to get back out there where they come from, this is their devolution. They are devolving. Anyways, this is actually tied in, linked directly with the story of the seven dancers, which were the word we're on now, right?
Yeah.
Sada de Yudinonyakwa. Sada is seven. De Yudinonyakwa is the dancers.
Dinun,
Deodi, then Nunyakwan. And at the H. Sada de Yudinonyakwa. 3, 2, 1. Sada de Yudinonyakwa.
Zada Deodi Nunyakwa.
Sada Teodinonakwa.
Zata Deodinunyakwa.
Sada Deodinunyakwa.
Sada Deodunya Yakwa.
Zada Deodinunyakwa.
Zata Deodinonyakwa. Nunyakwa.
Zada Deodinunyakwa.
Yanere.
Tada de Yonio Yakwa.
Di Nuno. Sada de Yudinonyakwa.
Tada de Yodi Nunyakwa.
Nunya.
Nunyakwa. Okay. Nunyakwa.
Dada de Odinunyakwa. Circle.
Okay.
I guess soon, Gerda, we should think of at least doing from 1 to 10, the numbers.
Yeah, that would be
Because
great, yeah.
there's a lot of references to numbers, and it would make it a lot easier for everybody. Like, hey, they can catch that sawdust. Whisk, they'll know, oyeri, they'll know the connections there. So soon we should look at doing the numbers.
And the colors.
So France.
Well, I have just a few questions to Wayageru. When you say yanare, does it mean it's good?
Oh, yoyanare. Well, that's interesting. You'd say that. Yoyanare means your path is good. That's why you say when yoyaner, it means her path is good. It doesn't mean. And then we take that as the clan mother because it's a title.
Oh, that's nice.
He's talking about female chief.
Yeah.
Yonder. So there, it doesn't mean female chief. It doesn't mean clan mother. Like you said, when within the people of the Longhouse, we identify where there's a whole bunch of us standing together, and we say that's the good path. That means we all identify that is the best of us. So any woman, any life giver who is raised to Oyane, that they are acknowledged by the people as being the best. And so this is where the people honor them by living up to that standard. This is what pulls all the people together in evolution, makes us advance together. This is a mechanism that does not exist in the non-native world.
That's why when you meet somebody, like I'm teaching people constantly every day, and they say, how do you say, how are you? And I just say, Yanarajiga. I'll say, what's new? Yanarajiga? I'll answer for you, but it's up to you to tell me. It just means what's new and is your path good? And you either say yes or no.
Wayagiru, Yoyanere, is that written correctly?
Yeah, Yoyane Raja, yeah. Yoyane, N-E.
And here as well, Yoyanere?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is, how is it going? Or are you going good?
So
Yanaraja, is your path good?
So Raja, is it R-A or is it R-E also?
Yanara, Yoyanara. Yoyanara is good. Yoyanaraja. No, that's good. That's right.
Anyway, that was not the word I wanted to say from my side, but yeah, hearing you saying that, and
You're trying to squeeze more words out of this.
Yeah, she's always
doing that. That's wrong.
We all heard you say that. If we allowed everybody to do that, people will be getting in more than their share of words.
No, but I want to ask you. Sometimes I hear the T pronounced like a T, and sometimes it's D. Most of the time it's D.
It's supposed to sound like, it's supposed to always sound like a D.
Except in Raji.
There's exceptions to the rule.
Okay.
Usually when there's a T and an S together, France, it might sound like a Z.
Yeah,
So-
but sometimes it sounds really like a T.
Yeah.
I was
Like when you
wondering if that
say-
was a rule, like a grammar rule or something.
There's no, with those one thing, throw those rules out the window. Yeah. See, when you talk about the great white pine, you say Onarata ze goa. The S sounds like a Z. Onarata ze goa.
The reason why it's like this, it's confusing. Like you said, there's no rule. There's no like common thread. it's because of, as Guerrero knows, that it was about 40 years ago, 40 to 50 years ago, where the people laid down this way of writing the letters instead of doing it phonetically. If it would have been done phonetically, then you would not have this scenario like what you're just pointing out. Sometimes it's a D, sometimes it's a T, sometimes it's a DZ, you know? So if it was phonetically, then it would be discernible. But
One of the greatest Kanienkeha teachers that started the language back is a retired nun. She's a friend of mine. She's good. Other than her belief system, I love the woman, but her religion I could do without. But she actually brought Kanienkeha back, put it back on the map. And you know, so she was brought up religiously, and she still is, because she's only retired, and she still teaches, so she's very influential. And her and I are good friends, but she's just religious. You know, she'll never talk about religion to me, and for us, we just talk about language, and we can meet on that common ground. She knows I won't change, and I know she won't, but I could use her help, and she could use my help. And that's our thing in Ganusesne. When somebody leaves the Ganusesne, it's always our job to try to bring them back, but we can't make them. And she can't make me go out. I would have to voluntarily want to go out, but I don't want to. I'm in a good place.
okay, so France, you got 2 phrases.
3 actually.
3. Yeah.
Okay, I won't ask anything else.
We didn't say them though, huh?
Next time, just think about it first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
don't.
just that he keeps saying that, so I was wondering what it meant. So that's why I
Well, now
asked.
that you asked for 3 words, you have to make up 3 sentences. You'll never do that again.
Yeah, using those 3 words or phrases you just got.
Next club meeting.
Okay, so we didn't say them though, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, the good path, yoyanere.
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 Yanere.
Yoyanere.
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 Yoyanere. Circle.
Is your path good? Yoyanaraje go.
Yoyanaraje gan.
Yoyaneraje gan.
Yoyanera chica.
Yoyanera jigan.
Yoyanarajegon.
Yanaraje gan.
Yoyanaraje go.
Yoyanerajiga.
Yoyanerajigan.
Yoyanera jigan. Circle.
Okay, that word now, clan mother is yoyaner. It's the I in front of the O, yoyaner. Yoyaner, yeah.
Yoyaner.
Yoyane.
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 Yoyana.
Yana.
Yoyana.
Yoyane.
Muted France.
But she is good.
Is it Yoyaner with the R?
Yeah, yoyaner.
Yoyaner. Okay.
Yoyana. Circle.
Okay, there's,
We got next. Is that it?
The next notes that I took is regarding, you said that we are gonna correct the proper way to say it about the feathers, find the proper translation.
feathers.
Okay, what was the thing?
The thing
I
was.
think we'd have to look back at last week's class.
Yeah, I will tell you. We have, can we lay the prayer down? you like? What is your umbilical cord? What is your mother's clan? What territory do you live in? How many feathers do you have? Are they up or down? And standing feather, feather at an angle. That was during this part that you said that. You were talking about the Gostoa.
Okay.
Would have
All right, that's where I think it's in Kanienkeha, where it's in the translation, Wayagerdo, about how you said the feather being down, pointing down.
Yeah, it was sto se ragaron,
And what
at
is
an
that?
angle. Feather at an angle.
an angle, feather and an angle.
Okay, that wasn't pointing down. What was it?
That's
No, it's
what,
about,
No.
it was about when your feather is pointing the wrong way, but you're not on the right path. Like, it's like if your feather's in the wrong direction. Is that what I got right? Is that what you're talking about?
It was also
Yeah, but it's not pointing down.
no,
It
there's
can't be
another
all the way
word.
down.
There's another word for that, totally. Is you would say, if you're off the path, you say Zaptaharago.
And what if you mean you're talking about feathers? What if your feather's wrong?
Well, okay.
Ezekiel was looking for a feminization of the word, if I'm not mistaken. There wasn't the proper feminization of the word when we were speaking of feathers. It was specific to men, if I'm not mistaken. Was
Yeah,
women.
okay, then it would be, okay, I'll write it down. Okay, tell me what it is in English. It's a female's feather that's wrong?
No, female can't have feathers. The Gustoa has the
I
feathers.
know, but that somebody just said the female's feathers, so I don't wanna,
The Gostoa belongs to the women, to the title holders. The men wear it, but it's not ours. It's theirs.
Okay.
I think we were talking about a way to say corruption through the way that you wear your feathers. Like if your feathers aren't correct, it's when you say that your feathers aren't right, it's a way of saying you're corrupt.
Oh,
It was
Is
in the
that-
it was in the question, are your feathers pointing up or down?
Mhm.
That's where that was.
That's by the nation.
And that only could pertain to either the Kanienkeha or
with 3 up. Ours are all 3 up.
the Seneca.
not the Senecas?
Seneca. It's either, you're talking about either Mohawk or Seneca. So
Has
it's
to be
funny.
Seneca.
So it's not funny, but it's you see management here because the two of them are sitting in the well together. One of them is like this.
That's a Mohawk.
One of
Kanienkeha.
one of them is like this.
No, there's only one. That's Oneida.
The other three fellas, Oneida.
That's Oneida.
Yeah, it's Oneida. 2 up and 1 down. So
Oh, no.
one is like this and one is like this. But these, okay, all right, I remember now. This is to do with numbers and the transition, like the fractioning of numbers, like going from 1 to 1.5 to 2, where it starts off with the Kanienkeha with 3, and then 2 down. The Oneida's 2 and 1 down. It's like 2.5. So, but you know, right now it's not really going to fit into a Mohawk word here. It's something more just for knowledge for us to expand on. We can do that at another time. I think what we'll really have to do is to go back and look at last week's class to know what the what the issue was we were looking at there with the feathers. But this is something like,
It's almost trying to find a negative in law. It's not a negative. It's this, it is what it is. There had to be a reason, and there's none of us are here that know because we weren't there.
well, it's not so much about us not being there
But
and
it's
not-
your identity, though. That's your identity.
this
That's
is
your
why
identity. You're not going to change it. You don't want to change your identity.
this is why it's not something that is not knowable to us. It's not that we weren't there and we can't know, because it's easily detectable through law as to why there are the amount of feathers on each of the nation's bestowers.
Yeah, but you're like that 2.5 foot, two up and one at an angle. You could almost say they were
cat.
they were one
He's
feather
fuzzy.
short of being Kanienkeha. One feather short of being Kanienkeha. One feather, well, it's not short, they're not short, but they're not all upright. They're not all straight feathers for a reason.
It is the connection to what the non-native refers to as the periodic table, because the feathers will show us the mixing of the elements, how the elements actually mix. And when you see, like when you hear of, say, H2O, you know, and when you mix just one more hydrogen atom, or when you put just one more whatever other element in there, science identifies that there is these transitions, these I don't know what you would call it, you know, like when you're taking your first steps, while you're creating it, you're in the motion, but you can say this is one step, this is 2 steps, and then you can identify that, well, in between 1 and 2 steps was 1.5 steps, 1.5. The if you can see that, the arrangement of the feathers of the 5 nations is that periodic table. On here, there's 6 of them, but the 6th one is not of the 5 nations. That's the Cayuga, and that's not of the 5 nations, anyways.
That's Karora.
But
Okay.
it was about how only the Kanienkeha and the Seneca are the only ones, like what you were saying that you didn't finish with that idea, that are the only ones that have the feathers always standing, because the other nations are gonna have feathers laying down. So it was like what you were saying, the function of the well, of how the standing means kind of like alert or like gathering, you know, that the other nations.
So what that comes down to, when you think of that, it's a 3-to-1 ratio. Ratios, they are a thing within creation, and they are important. Recently, we've seen something that is very important, is the 10-to-1 ratio. So ratios are important. When we have maybe someone who is more versed in science, maybe a physicist, then we can look at the periodic table and see how the feathers of the 5 nations are the foundation to the periodic table. You will see the common thread in all the elements there, how they're put together based on 3s. Okay, what timage are we?
8:25.
Okay, was there any more? Did anybody else have words? Okay, so let's go back to the what we started off with about we're done planting now. Let's respond to that, or let's see what the next thing would be that we say. Okay, we're done planting. Now we can rest, or now we can relax or take it easy, or whatever you would identify like here.
Dago, that means to take a break. You never rest, you just take a break. Onde Dago.
Onde
Dago.
this
On the wall.
Yeah, that's the place to break it. Risson. Dago, and that's to take a break, because you know you're taking a break, but you got to get right back in the garden to take out the weeds and feed it. You're not stopping, and you're not going to touch the garden again. It's like raising a kid. You don't put him on the earth or her on the earth, and then you just stop taking care of them. That's what planting was a part. That's why children were brought in the garden, and it was explained to them, though maybe they didn't always want to. And they said, well, if you can't raise a garden, don't ever have children, because you can't take care of. If you can't take care of garden, you can't take care of children. Some people don't like it, but the shoe fits.
Onde
3, 2, 1. Onde Dago.
Onde Dago.
Onde Dago.
On the Dago.
On the wa Dago.
Dago.
Onde Dago.
Andewa deri Santiago.
Andewa Dago.
Will.
Onde Dago.
Excellent, everybody.
On the Waderi Santiago. Circle.
Okay, Dago.
Okay, as you said, as we know that after we're done planting, we can say, we can rest now. But the reality is, we can rest until it's time to work again. So until it's time to work again.
Okay.
And this would be like a real casual conversation that two people could have, like, we're done planting. Oh, well, we're done planting. Now we can take a break. Yeah, until there's more work to do. So it is a real easy, applicable phrase. What are you doing? Oh, you can't write down? Oh. You okay? Yeah.
You take care.
Don't take any more videos like that. Send me that video. I'm gonna paste it on my Facebook page for everybody to see. My son took a video of himself slam dunking basketball, and his feet went out underneath him, and he landed right on the court.
Ouch.
Hit his hip and his two elbows.
Ouch. On the
You didn't see
floor.
the video?
No. But on the floor like that,
It
it's
looks
ouch.
painful.
It's not on the ground like
On the
sand.
pavement.
Yeah. Ouch.
That's why he's got Band-Aids on his
Well, he could have
elbows.
broken his elbow and stuff like that.
Yeah,
He's lucky.
that's what I said. What, are you gonna get killed playing?
Alone.
Yeah. Okay.
Geniore is until.
Tini.
Geniore, yeah. Onchunguayo.
Did you say atsum, like with an N? here.
On Zoom, yeah, it's an end there. On Zoom, guayo,
Zoom.
Guayo.
no, será. 3, 2, 1, Signore, on Zoom, guayo, no, será.
Signore, un Zoom voyant dansera.
Signore en su guayon dansera.
Signore en su guayo dansera.
Signore entro guayo dansera.
Signore, un su guayo dansera.
Signore in su
Guayo, dansera.
guayo dansera.
Yanare.
Signore en su guayo dansera.
Yanare.
Signore anzu guayo dansera.
Signore, on se guayo dansera.
Very good.
Signore en son guayo dansera. Circle.
Okay, how about there is always something to do?
Okay.
That made me think of Elsa. She always laughs at my sneeze.
Then there is no time to rest. And then we'll rest when we're dead.
Jutku, guayo, dansera. Break it at the H. Jutku, guayo, dansera.
Jotun gayan danseraya.
Jotkun gayon danserayon.
Jotcon gallo danserayon.
Yonko gai dansera.
Guayo, dansera.
Gayu dansera.
Joku, gayo danserayo.
Diokun gayo dansera hiyan.
Yotku gayo danserayon.
Yonku jayo ganserayo.
Will?
Jonkun gayo danserayo.
Gayo danserayon. Circle.
No time to rest.
Talking about resting and
There's no time to rest.
I know.
We'll tell you in a minute, as soon as we know what the word is.
And then I'll rest? No.
No. You gotta look, it says it right there when you got time to rest. When we're dead.
Just good news being sent by Anne. She doesn't need surgery now.
Good.
All right.
Yatti on nak today. Nak, N-A-K. Today, then Ayun. Dorison. Dago. 3, 2, 1. Ya te yonaktode ayundorisandago.
Yah deonaktode ayonderonisodago.
Ya eonacto de ayondorizontaco.
Ya de yonakdo de ayontorizondago.
You're muted, Lisa.
Aya de do ayon dorans ronson dago.
Okay, look, we'll start again. Ya te yonaktode
Yak dinyo naktore
ayundorisandago.
ayun dorison dago.
Good.
Ya, de yonacto de ayon torison dago.
Ya te yonato de ayontorisendado.
Ya teonacto de ayontorizondago.
Ya deonato de ayunte isa dago.
Ya dion yak nak de ion dorisondago.
Yeah, that it.
Ya de yonactode ayondorisondago. Circle.
Okay. The next word.
We'll rest when we're dead.
Okay.
Just so that you know, this right here, we'll rest when we're dead. This is pretty much Kanienkeha credo, a way in which the way that we look at the world. The Kanienkeha being the foundation of the Five Nations Longhouse Confederacy has work to do constantly, all the time. To have peace, you must be vigilant constantly. And so the work of the Kanienkeha is never done. We go day and night from the moment we're brought into this world until the moment we leave. So the credo or the war cry, you can say, of the Kanienkeha is that we never rest. We'll rest when we're dead.
Okay, on the wadorisandago, on the wado. Rison. Dago, and then no, you don't have to break that up. No. On the one. On the one. Yeah. On the one here. 3, 2, 1. On the wadorisandago, no, on the one here.
Onde wado horizontago, nona onde wahaye.
Onde wa dorizondago, nona onde wa hey.
On the waterizondago, nona on the wahaye.
On the wado rison dago non on dere.
On the one here.
On the one heya.
Hey, yeah.
On the one heya.
That's it.
On the wando, reason, dago, nona, on the one, yeah.
On the wado reason. Dago nonan and the
One here.
on the wa here.
Mhm.
Hey,
Antewato rizendago nona antewahaye.
That's very good.
De wanta rise dago none and de wa heye.
Will, you're muted. Miguel, are you there?
Oh, sorry. Onde wa de rese dogo, nono, onde wa here.
Won't he yet?
Wa he ye.
Onde wadori Santago, nona, onde wahiye. Circle.
Okay, I guess time now, right?
8:41.
Yours,
Okay.
your time. You want to rest?
Hey,
Just wanna make sure we don't go too far.
this morning I went fishing with the Honya and that kid, he caught 18 fish today. 18.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
somewhere in the middle, he caught a pike about 2 feet long, and you should have seen how afraid he got. His rod was bending, and he said he wants to give it to me. I said, don't let it go. So he took it out of the water. He gave me the, and I had, the fish was fighting, you know how pike are. They're trying to get away, and so I grabbed the fish because I didn't want him to jump in the water back in. And he ran up to get his iPad to take a picture of it. So he was making fun of me. He says, Bubba, you only caught 3. I said, well, what are you going to do? That's just the way it is.
Oh, okay. This is what we talked about last week. What Warrior Garrett was saying right now. We, for sometime next month, hopefully, the Kanienkeha class, we're gonna go fishing. We're gonna do a live Kanienkeha class while we're fishing. So all the things, you know, like the simple conversation, like that's important stuff, you know, whatever. Oh, I got a bite, or I got a fish, or whatever. So that's the idea, is to sometime within the next moon to do the Kanienkeha class on a fishing trip. So this is actual real world stuff that people do, right? So if you can think of another thing that is applicable, that would be good for all of us, not to say, let's go to a movie, let's go to a baseball game. No, none of that kind of stuff. So each of you think about a real world application that we can do the Kanienkeha class in. Okay, I think what we're going to do now is we're just going to go into while you're here doing the words. So this is where everybody has to put their microphones on silent and nobody make any noise.
Okay.
Just a minute. Okay.
Okay. Oh, Nisenu Nyodo. What is your dance? Ostoa, the great feather dance. Oh, Nizarunoda. What's your song? Agerana de Wahunta Neha, the rabbit dance. Dowaderakwa Troheste, the sun will block or eclipse. Doja derakwa Trohoste, lunar eclipse. Dewajistokwarun, that's the star is shooting star. Gachistokwarakwa, container of the stars. Zada de Hodinunyakwa, de Yodinunyakwa, the 7 dancers. Yoyanare is a good path. Yoyanaraje, your gun is your path good. Yoyaner, she is good female title holder. Wa'agwahetiza, we finished the garden. Odewadorisondago, we'll take a break. Signore Anzuguayo Donstera, until we get back to work. Jutku Gayo Donsteraya, there's always work to do. Ya te yonakto de ayundorisondago. There's no time to rest. Onde wadorisondago nono onde wahia. We will rest when we're dead. That it?
That's it.
Okay, Wayagero, can you break that down, that last one? What is the part where it says until we're dead?
No, and that's until onde wahia is dead.
On the Wahaya.
Yeah.
On the Wahaya. And that is a future tense thing, right?
Yeah, what you see on the one here. See, that's interesting that you bring that up. See, dying is not dying the way we hear it in English and French, like more. They say more or dead, and everybody starts crying. Well, us would say, well, Jesus Christ, it's about time. Like he's, it's about time. Like somebody worked hard, They were working in the garden all their life. My auntie Gondinesu, they found her dead in her garden.
Wow.
And as sad as it might be, but just think about it. She worked in the garden all her life. What gave her life was where she died. So it's almost like, hey, that's pretty good. She died there, and she didn't die in a car accident and got beheaded. She died what she liked, because when you think of the Saoyera, nature's feeding us, and then one day nature says, "Well, you get it's time to go," and you got to accept that. If you've been following Yohahi all your life, you say, "Yeah, well, now it's my time to give back." You become fertilizer for the garden, actually somebody else's garden. So there's that whole, like my son and I went fishing today, and yes, that's one thing I love about, I never had a son, I finally got one. And he says, Bubba, why do we use worms? I says, well, in the end, the worms are gonna eat you and me up, and that look he gives me. And I said, that's what it is. I said, they fed us, they caught the fish, and they said, the circle of life, I'm going to die way before you. And then I said, the worms will eat me, and then you'll go dig up worms and put it back on your hook, and you and your son or your daughter. And then he says, okay, kind of didn't understand, but he said it made sense.
Okay, the only thing now is the closing. So who do we got with us? Who's with us that hasn't done the closing?
I think we all did it.
Everybody?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Is there anybody here with us that hasn't done the closing? Okay, well, let's start right back over then. Wayagero, you want to do the closing?
Okay. Onegi alisa kahve do the deg amzai the one. Amzai the one. Soon done hodon. We're gonna close the night. Dan ni ned amzai tino waradi you keep ni stone hodza. Dan agwego tina hoda da in kiawe haji ganto umza gesum. Da yo nyo haji and guadana tsera suon go nukwa suon. Chate gudirio tserage gudi dakene jesulus. Good kawa saudi warum. The one ya hessa saudi nem. Si det karum ya denyo gudi jana jesulus o jito ogon dan o jito wa suon. The gurinyata gana. Yukia de ronadanis. The gonotargos. Zerunge. O te kena warada na gana wagunha. Si you good kawa saudi warum. Gudi na kastelunis ne jitkoin guana gioge. I do what the nyata namaste, I tea negative guy and toasted. I do what kunyate, I do what the yerum toharete. Tanagwe ni net in a hot dance, you know the riwayoni. Onagi Zakenwarado, a guego ungue soa, ti seli ne, yago yotaji in a hot, yago the riwayoni. But the Kenwarado Gine, yago such donseruano saoyero, Tanaguego in a hot, the riwayena wago, in a hot, to what other no que. Onig we are 20 ore, Sagadari what queni, that tenor to get Nigora, Isaginat Nez, what Nigora Gosso, am Zagari was Seroniage. Yawakoa, Merci, Miquich, Anka, Gracias. Aguego. So what's the deal?
Yeah. So Dios.
I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're gonna be there in the morning?
Yep, we'll be here.
Okay, I'll see you around 11. Okay,
Good.
on to Aguego.
Los días.